Okay, hello everybody. This is the second attempt at making this video. The first, for some reason, didn't have audio, so I'm going to go quickly through everything I talked about in the last video. Uh, this is the 8th tour. We're going to go ahead and get into it, and I'll show you everything that's been going on since last week when we had our last update. So, if we go down here, quickly, I went on a little adventure so I could get some materials that I didn't have on the island and bring them back to the base so then I could farm them up. Down here, I got stalactites and stalagmites. So I made a little farm down here. I haven't been in this area very much, so nothing's grown yet. But when I start editing this area of the base, I should have as much as I need, and I can always extend this farm out to make it a little bigger. So this area for now will be my geode and stalactite and stalagmite farm. That was the only update in this side of the base. Still have to update this tunnel and the zombie tunnel. The zombie tunnel needs leaves, the cracks, and barrels. This tunnel needs a lot of work, so I need to get over there and do that at some point. Coming out here, not much has changed at all in the farming area. But I have been making progress on the upper levels of the base. So, one big change is I put the leaves on the smooth stone layers. I think that looks good. I haven't seen it done anywhere. I might have been missing some videos of other people doing this, but I've never seen it done, and I really like the way it looks. Another thing in this area, the decorating style is like the berry bushes, the trees, the barrels, the wood slabs, and lanterns. All this stuff is just getting it in places where I want it. So I want a tree to go here. I will eventually be building custom trees and building custom paths, but to get things where I want it and situated in the base, I go ahead and put it down as quickly as I can, and then later I come back through with a more refined design to get everything like I want it. So everything here is subject to change. There will be more details in the paths. There'll be better looking trees. The walls will look a little bit better or maybe a little different, but to get everything where I want it and how the base flows and feels, I go ahead and do a quick build, putting things where it should be, and then I come back through later and update that area. So the design on the stable houses are granite, brick, andesite, smooth andesite, and wood, with the decorative blocks on the outside of it being fence cauldrons for the water, barrels, lanterns, and wheat bales or hay bales. These are there's variant designs of these. You got the I-shaped design, you have the L-shaped designs, you have T-shaped designs, and then an alteration of those. Nothing's been done on the inside of these, so this is kind of how they look when they haven't been finished. While we're standing here next to this is a electrical tower. When I was building down here, I kept coming back to pieces of my roof missing, and I had a couple thunderstorms, so I've attributed that to lightning. So I placed these in different areas to attract the lightning, so I didn't have to keep replacing the roof. This is a L-shaped design. This was the first one I put down, so the interior is more finished. but I still have to come back through. So this is what the interior should look like on all the other ones. And the more blocks that'll go in here would be like smokers and barrels to keep the food and the food for the animals and the meat from the animals. Each one of these, here's another L-shaped design on the left over here. L-shaped design to your left. Further back is an I-shaped design, and then a T-shaped design right here. And each one of these has a cauldron, different animals that are pinned up. I currently only have one pig, so this one's kind of lonely back here in the I-shaped design. But you really don't get much from the pigs other than pork chops, and I'm getting plenty of food from the cows and the sheep at the moment. This area back here was a lot of room and a lot of space, so I was able to stretch out the house designs or the building designs a lot bigger. This is the biggest one currently. It has what, 5 sections, 6 sections. It also stretches back a little ways. I think 2 sections back here. This is the second biggest design with 4 sections, and it also goes back. That bee is the only bee that's living. I don't know what happened to all the other ones. Still trying to figure out how to keep them alive and in the world. A quick look at this area. I really like the leaves on the smooth walls. I'm putting slabs, smooth stone slabs on top of it, so it looks like it's hanging down from the wall. Another 2 buildings over here will hold more animals. Light poles or electrical poles. Go ahead and eat. This is where I've been farming up my trees and getting the leaves for the smooth stone walls. All of this is subject to change a million times. The main goal is I have an idea and I have a vision, and I go ahead and get it placed down. So I go ahead and run through with cheap, easy blocks to place, easy blocks to get. I go ahead and run through and place where I want structures to be and where I want walls to be and paths to be. So it's not detailed right now, but everything is how it should look, or where it should be in the world. So I've done a lot of work over here, carrying the wall around, and I'll show you more over there how it looks. I posted a couple pictures to Reddit, kind of showing off this tour and what you can expect in this tour and how things are progressing. But coming to YouTube, I'm actually able to walk around and show you how it looks and how it feels when you're moving through the world. This over here, you had this island or this mountain over here to the left. It was connected all the way down into the island that we're on now. So I just had to cut it off and eventually put a bridge over that connecting to the mountain over here. So then I can get water and boats can go through. This is how it looks, unfinished, untouched, just getting the shape of the castle down or the kingdom down. All this is subject to change, and it'll look a lot better once everything is put in place. But that's how I like to, if I imagine it like painting, I just put down the first colors first, and then I come back through with the second colors. If you watch Bob Ross, you have his background layer, then you have the layer above that, then you have the layer above that, and then you have your detail layer. So that's how I like to play. I like to play in the sense of you put down your background layer, and my background layer is these walls, and then I'll be able to add stuff to them or take things away from them to give it more detail and to make it look better. We'll walk around here. You see it's not even touching the ground fully yet, and there's no beaches in this area over here on these walls, so it's not finished, but it is in the direction I want it and how I want it to look. We'll go up to the next level, and I'll show you an example of how things change, and I have a different idea or I have a different direction I want to go, and it makes an area look totally different than it did before. And that is on the residential side of the island. All of these down here used to have birch and a lot of plant life and a lot of bushes. And we're going to go ahead and sleep real quick so we can skip this night. But since I came up with the idea of putting and it's probably not the most spectacular idea, and everybody probably thinks about it or has worlds where they've done this. I haven't seen it, so to me this is it is an organic idea that I had. But since I placed the leaf blocks on the smooth stone walls, I wanted to change this area out because it was getting busy, and it was the birch trees and the bushes and the grass, the tall grass and flowers and stuff were blocking a lot of the view of the walls, and I wanted them to stand out a little more, so I'm going to have to think of different ideas for that. I will also move the lighting to a different spot. One idea was to put them in the walls themselves and just have them come on at night, and put jack-o'-lanterns in the ground and cover them up and make them look nice in different ways. These are some of the plants I found just exploring around, just farming them up, so these won't stay here long, these pink bushes right here. But you can tell this whole area is a lot different this time around on the 8th tour than it was on the 5th, 6th, and 7th tour. And it totally makes this area look way different than it did before, which is a good thing in my opinion. It just changes it up dramatically, gives it a different look. I think I'm going in the right direction here. This wall is more finished, but again, I will probably come back through 300 million times and edit this wall. I'm not gonna run off to a different mega build until I feel like this one is 100% refined and finished, unless something terrible happens, like if the world gets erupted or anything like that. That could be the only thing that stops me from finishing this mega build. I'm currently running this server off of a paper server from my Synology NAS, so I'm not real sure how to back up things on the Synology. So if anybody knows how you are able to back up worlds or servers off the Synology, I'd like to know. I've looked up a couple of things and I haven't been able to find anything that could really help me out. This is the next level. I flattened out all this. I think I flattened this out in another video. These tunnels I started building for me to get from one side of the mountain to the other side of the mountain. This one is one of the longer ones because this was a really far run to get from this side to that side. Sometimes I'd need to run around the front of the mountain to get to the other side instead of climbing up over it. But flattened all this out, placed dirt down. Got to take out this mountain right here. This is a more finished tunnel from one side to the other. So I'll run from this side to that side. The one below is the level beneath this one. So I can cover a lot more distance without having to come up here. I can just run straight over to this side from these tunnels that I'm adding in. So this is the mountain that was connected to our island that I'm working on. Chop that mountain down. I'm gonna clean it up, make it look a little better. But this is how it looks on this side. A little bit of space to work on this level. I got a lot more space on the animal farm level, and then a little bit of space on the actual food farm level. Still got to come back through and add some blocks, some dirt blocks, so then it is easy to walk around and path through. This is the back side. You see how much closer everything is together. And so this is the steeper side of the mountain. And if you go back a couple of videos before this, or a couple of tours before this, this was just dirt and it was very steep. So you can tell that when I'm adding the walls in, it's just slowly getting closer. And for me to conceptualize what I want to do around here, it's easier to go ahead and put the blocks down quick, so then I know where things go, I know how things are supposed to look, and then come back through later and put the details in it. So this is just temporary, but it's for me to visualize what it should look like and where I'm able to make alterations to it. We'll come back around here, and there's 2 other tunnels. I'll show you where they're placed, and then we'll wrap up the video, and I'll go over what was the new things on this tour, or the new additions on this tour. Let me see, can I get up here? Yeah. I think this is a good view. You can see the bushes on the walls, and that'll carry around all the way over here. I think it's going to look good when everything is in the place and where it's supposed to be, and it's just constantly staying on top of it and getting everything moving closer to my eventual finished or realized idea of how this kingdom is supposed to look. When I was out adventuring to get the stalactites, which I wasn't particularly looking for stalactites, but I was just looking to see what was close by the island. I went out and found these spruce trees, so I'll be incorporating more spruce in the future builds. Here's one of the other tunnels that go from one side to the other, and then I have one more tunnel on this bottom side down here. Alright, I guess I had a little bit less health than I thought. Okay, this is the other side of that tunnel. I'll run across it and grab the food I had on me. But this is how everything's looking. A lot more has to be done in this area, but things are taking shape how I expect them to look. And this tunnel right here is plain. There's not much going on in this tunnel. But if you look at my zombie tunnel as opposed to my skeleton tunnel, you can see there's additions that are coming to those areas. Let me see, do I have, okay, I picked it up. And I'll just run over there and show you real quick what I mean by I place the first layer down just to get things in the place I want them, and then I come back through later and I add the detail. Let me go down there and show you. It also gives me a chance to run around areas in my base and get a natural feel for how it flows and how it looks, and I know areas that I spend more time in and areas that I spend less time in. Putting it or building quickly and then coming back with the details, for me it helps me build more organic bases that are more natural feeling. Finally able to get the copper up in the ceiling. I haven't showed that, but this is the zombie, right? This is the zombie tunnel. So the walls are done, the ceiling's done, the steps are done, but this isn't finished. This one is the skeleton tunnel. This one is more finished. You got the cracks, you got the leaves, you got the barrels, you got the moss. This one's more finished. So you see how it goes through iterations from start to finish. This one, then you have my spider farm over here. I think we ended here on one of the other tours, but it goes through different iterations. So I needed the tunnel to go down here. I needed it to connect up to the spider farm. No changes has been done yet, but the tunnel had to be put in place, just like the walls upstairs or the paths upstairs. The outline of the design had to be placed down. Then you can come back through and do the detailing. And that's not how everybody plays Minecraft. That's how I like to play Minecraft. It gives me more organic feel of the world and how things should be and how things should look. And I can add details in different places and spend more time in areas. instead of just rushing to get the finished product out. I want to get play on the world and to really feel how uh, the world kind of talks to you, if that makes sense. Up here, this was my first enchanting area, and I really liked looking over the ravine. When I found that zombie or the spider spawner down in the lower areas, it naturally came to me. I need to put in a path where I can see the wood go across, and so I did. Whereas if I had a finished idea, I might have missed this opportunity to put in a path down there. I've covered it up a little bit with the wire room down below, but that's organically playing in your world, seeing how the terrain that you're on can produce different looks, different outcomes, give you ideas for other builds. Maybe you change a little bit in an area that you are working on or you're spending a lot of time in, and it looks really good, and then you can go and put that same design or same idea over the course of, or over the entire build. And a good example of that is up here when I built these paths. I needed a cobbly looking, broken down looking fence rails, so I quickly put this these fences in cobble, and I liked the design. I liked how it looked. It came out great, so I moved the same design to the top of this. So one idea springs to another idea. So if I had finished these walls up here and had them totally finished and totally 100% looking how mixed in a lot of different stones, made it look clean and nice, and then I wouldn't have had the same vision on this lower level, and it might have looked a little bit cleaner, not as lived in, not as used, not as cobbly looking. So going through stages in your world, for me, is a great thing. I haven't done much adventuring. I've used all the material on this island to make this island. Even the bricks, I go around the island and look for clay deposits in the rivers that are around the island. So other than the little bit of vegetation that I've gotten on my two outings, all these blocks and all this materials come from this area. And eventually when I explore more of the world, I find mesa biomes, I find different things, then more colors, more looks, more ideas will come back to this build. That's enough for me. Thank you for watching the 8th tour of my world. Please come back for more. Thank you. Bye-bye.